guys, and welcome back to another episode of DIY Ideas. Topic today is Addi Express king size machine. How does it work? So in my last video, we were looking at knitting flats with the basic instructions from Addi itself. I had a few problems for sure. Let's see. I definitely kind of lost a few of the stitches here on the sides. I probably didn't have the tension right. But I have, in the meantime, looked up some tips of how to make this turn out better, and how to make a nice slip stitch here on the side. And so let's get started again. We want to start with our next project. So what do? We will put our counter here on 0, and I have looked to see when exactly this changes in the rounds, but also in flat knitting. It will switch. I will go back and forth a little bit when the white needle comes to the front. Okay, did you hear that switch? So this, here the counter switches right there just before we get to the black needles here. And this we also had in the last video. So the black ones are our stop when you're knitting straight or flat. So we're only using 43 because the 3 black ones are stoppers. If I want to knit in flats, I will put the setting here and the counter on 0. Some people do this after, the initial stitches, because that's what the instructions say. And this is our lever here, and we will put this on flat knitting. It was already there, but I did it anyway again to show you guys. Okay, then we will take our thread. We have set the counter to 0. We have put it on flat knitting. It's the same yarn. It's meant for size 4 to 5 needles. And the king size says you can use 4 to 8. So this should work. We're right kind of in the middle. I'm going to take the end here. It's with a little bit extra, so it kind of touches the table underneath. And this is our first white needle here. So we will put the thread in there. And now we're kind of doing back and forth, counterclockwise. We will turn it, and then now in front, now behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, and so on. Okay, and we have reached the last white hook or needle. And this last time I also put it around the black one, but I saw a video that put it around this red hook. So let's see what happens. So these are kind of all little hooks. Kind of looks like, I don't know, the head of a parrot. And these kind of look like, I don't know, cobra snakes. Or rattlesnakes. Okay, so and then I, after putting it through the red little hook, I put it here through my guide. And so let's see which opening works best for our yarn. We can use this one here. This is a little smaller, or if the thread is a little bigger, you can put it through the hole on the top. But all that matters really is that this is closed so that no needle breaks later on, and you can just turn it easily. I am here still at 0, so we put stitches in, but now that we are moving back to the white needle here on this side, the counter should start counting. Okay, let's get started. We will turn this we will continue turning this will not continue here. So I see here already that this is looking good, but here, I don't know if you can see, the thread didn't go where it's supposed to be going, because this one should be in front. There. Okay, so I just saw that randomly. I'm just gonna give you that advice. Maybe double check that here every other of these little hooks is in the front or in the back, in the front and in the back, you know? So on the video here, because the thread is yellow, it might be a little hard to see, but I'm sure in real life you'll be able to see this much better. So yeah, I just give you the advice of having a look just to make sure. So this one yes, this one no, this one yes, this one no. Okay, so this one should have it, but it didn't have it when I was just looking at it. So I just corrected that, and so yeah, just nice tip here, make sure to have a double check. It also actually says this in the instructions. Okay, so now we go backwards. It kind of was a little stiff there for a second, but now it's moving better. Okay, so we are here with number 1, and now it moves to number 2. That means that every row we count. So not every other row, but every single row, one there, one back, is always counted. We can go to the black hooks here. The last one's always a stop. We can continue, and then we go backwards. And we always want to make sure that the tension on the thread stays the same. My ball of yarn just fell to the ground, but you know. So yeah, we just want to make sure that the tension kind of stays the same on the thread so that they come out more even. And here is another tip. So if we reach the most outer hook, so in this case the right white one, just make sure that the last stitch is like kind of down so that we don't get a like double stitch here. I'm going to do this again in a second. Here the thread kind of came apart, and so yeah, just make sure you're paying attention to what's happening. We are learning together how to use this kind of machine. So here again we are reaching the end, so we can't turn it any further, and we are going backwards. And here the question is, do we let the thread kind of do its thing? And sometimes the last stitch kind of gets too loose. Or do we take the last stitch here? I'm going to try to show this here. So it's this one. Do we kind of pull it a little tighter? So you can see there's a lot of kind of room, or there was, let's say. More thread here than in the other ones, okay? So that's what I was trying to avoid here by pulling on it a little bit, is to make it more even, just more even to the rest. Okay, and yeah, this is, so we have, just nicer corners here, borders that are easy and look good. And now we go backwards again. And here, just make sure that this stitch here, the kind of the last one, is all the way down. In this case, it worked really well. Otherwise, just make sure that the tension stays the same. I don't think it's that easy to also keep that in mind, just because there's a lot of other things to do. I am using my ball of yarn here from the outside and not from the inside. I would recommend not doing that. Okay, here again, that's our border. And this one here, try to make sure it's a little tighter. And then we go back. Okay, so let's say I have enough rows here, or yeah, then we can start taking this off or out. And with that, we take our thread, our marble of yarn or whatever is left, and we put this in the middle and close this back up. And here we are on row 28. In the future, we can have a look at what kind of number is good, maybe a even or uneven number. But for now, the position is really important. So we're now going counterclockwise again. Okay, so we're starting here with the first one, the first white hook. And this one, we're going to take off the thread, and that only works while the white hook is kind of disappearing into the machine. So what we had here at the very end is not a nice border, but more like just weird stitches that are just like laying around. You can kind of pull this a little tighter, or if you want it to be kind of ripped like this, you just kind of pull it tight, and that's it. But most of us probably want a type of slip stitch or something like that. I'm going to use another very different color for this so we can see it better. I'm going to take a piece that is, you know, just a little longer than, yeah, the whole work. And then I will put this into my nice practical needle that came with the machine. And we will start with the most outer stitch. And we will put it on our needle when the white hook goes down. Okay, so we turn counterclockwise. And now we see the hook has disappeared. And we can go from in between here, in between the two of the little red things, and we can take the stitch. And so we will do this every single stitch. Whoops. Okay, number 2. And number 3. Who is courageous can do this. Oops. This actually fell without me wanting to. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see if I can still put them on my needle. Yeah, as you can see, something can always go wrong. So I'm gonna try and pay a lot of attention here just because it rolls up a little bit. Okay, so this is obviously, yeah, me trying to show you guys something and then it's not working. And I lost one already, but with the needle here, I can probably pull this back up. So yeah, this is troubleshooting. Because obviously not everything always goes wrong. It goes right. Okay, and now we have yeah, a piece of knitting that kind of is hanging on top of like a, it looks like a thing for like a curtain. But yeah, I'm going to put this onto my knitting needles now and then show you what I do. But so yeah, soon when I put this on my needles, I'm going to pull this one up with a crocheting hook just so I have a good stitch here as well. So yeah, you have to be really, really attentive, especially if you don't have that much experience with them, because it's not just, you know, putting it in and then just letting it work for you. You definitely still have to pay attention and troubleshoot. And so this is what we're going to do here now. So obviously kind of depends on what you are trying to achieve, but I'm just going to put this here on the other needle. And then the older one here, ooh, if I can get it, we'll pull it over the new one. And then again, and we'll just do the same motions here. Okay. Then here, we kind of corrected it with our crocheting hook. I just saw that it was the wrong way around, so I just flipped it over. And that's how we continue. All right, and so we are done with this for now, but I've also learned something here. And you can see here it's pretty loose in general. So for the yeah, kind of needle size 4, let's say the machine doesn't have a number 4, it's more like a, maybe, yeah, I don't know, something bigger. This is really nice though, and it's maybe great for like a summer top or something that's supposed to be airy and kind of loose. But yeah, just to be sure that you're not making it too tight when you're using your needles. So this is the yarn type 4-5, and I used that same, you know, needle, a size 5, as I would usually do. But now it's already too tight because it's just different than the other side, right? So maybe use a different size needle or just do it very, very loosely. What else did I learn? The first and the last, stitch, kind of make sure it's a little tighter than it's doing it, so you have a nice border. Let's have a look here. And it's definitely better than my first try. As you can see here, this did not look so good. But I think all in all, we have a much better border now. And so, yeah, the very last one, and on the very left side, you just kind of pull it a little tighter. And on the right side, just make sure it's always a little like push downwards. And so this one is a little, there's one that's a little funny maybe still, but in all looks pretty good. Here we have a little error. It's very loose. I think something maybe didn't, yeah, I don't know, something didn't really work right. But I think, yeah, with a little more, you know, practice and stuff, it'll get much better. And you can kind of like pull it in the right way, so it looks a little more even. Yeah, but yeah, it just kind of has to lay and stretch a little bit. But yeah, I am still very interested in how else we can use it and what else we can do with it. Yeah, I think the borders here look a little better. On the bottom side here, you can do a very similar thing that we did on the other side. So we can take our needles, you know, and make them look nice. You can do this with a crocheting needle or crocheting hooks or knitting needles. And yeah, I really hope that this video was also informative for you guys. And in the next video, we will, you know, have a look at how to use the machine in a little like shorter ways. So make a shorter piece of work. And so, yeah, we will also have a look at how we can figure out exactly, yeah, how to get out of this machine what exactly we want. And yeah, until then, I wish you guys a lot of fun with this machine. And yeah, please go ahead and write to me in the comments if you're interested in this, if you have any questions. And yeah, I'm always happy to see any comments, any likes, and then see you next time. Bye!